Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe in Lagos. On the show tonight, we'll be talking about the FIFA Women's World Cup. Of course, it's 15 days to go, and we're expecting the Super Falcons to land in Australia. That's tonight or tomorrow morning because they've left the shores of Nigeria since Sunday. And also, Brazilian national team are there already, and South Africa, they're still having issues with their federation simply because of contract performance-related bonuses and all. With FIFA announcing that they will be paying players individually. Most of the federations are not willing to pay their performance-related bonuses, and so South Africa is having issues. England also are debating with the FA what they would do. But luckily for the likes of USA, Australia, who already have that collective bargaining, those will not have issues with that. Whether FIFA is giving them $30,000 each from the group stage, of course, they will still have to receive their money as usual. For the Falcons, well, I think the 5,000 bonuses for winning will also remain for the ladies. All right, we'll also be talking about the Tigers, because we know that the home-based players, they have qualified for the Afro-Chan, and this will be taking place in Angola. Not that they qualified, they got a wild card after their performance against Côte d'Ivoire. They couldn't get to take a straight. Côte d'Ivoire got it, but then they got a wild card because FIBA had to issue 2 wild cards, one for Guinea, who will be taking part in the Afro Women's Basketball that will be taking place later this month, 28th precisely. Of course, we know the D Tigers already are preparing because, well, open camp. That's what the federation is doing to ensure that all the players will be there. And also, we'll touch down on some issues talking about NNL, Sporting Lagos. They've made it to the NPFL. So right now, we'll be having 3 private clubs in top flight next season. We don't know another club is going to join it, but for now, you have Sporting Lagos, happens to be a privately owned club. Remo Stars already there. Domo United are also there. So NPFL, 3 private clubs. I think that's a bonus for Nigerian League. Austin Okonakma will be joining me now from London. Austin, you ready to roll?
That's good, Cecilia. Sport greetings to you and our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. Still an action-packed world of sports, Cecilia. I'm still counting down to the FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. And I'm just saying, can we just stop talking about money for a moment and just count down to the action itself? Because it seems lately when we talk about women's football, money somehow finds a way into the conversation, you know? So I'm just saying, I don't want to hear all of that. I just want us to talk about the football. Also, it would be beautiful to talk about, football return, NPFL football returning to Lagos. Sporting Lagos FC will become the new bride of football in Lagos. It used to be MFM. MFM, for some reason, I still don't understand why that club is non-existent, but Sporting Lagos giving Lagos football fans something to cheer about. It seems like a loaded package on the show tonight, and I'm so pumped up to talk about it, Cecilia.
Of course, it is the loaded package. So let's start off with the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And of course, we know that these ladies will be opening camp very, very soon. But then before we get on that, let's just... we have another guest in the studio, right? It's a Wednesday. It's a Tuesday. And of course, we have Idris, Kende Idris in the building. Kende, it's good to have you join us.
It's good to be here. And the moment I come in, I see the lineup, it's always getting me excited. And then hosting, like I always say, from the wings, like Anaya Robin or Frank Ribery, always, bringing in those in-swingers. It's always a lovely time. I want to have a lovely time today again.
All right, so let's start out with the Super Falcons of Nigeria. It's 15 days to the FIFA Women's World Cup. We are counting down. So teams are touching down in Australia, Brisbane, of course, Melbourne, everywhere. And for the Super Falcons of Nigeria, the training camp, they're going to be having that 15 days training camp. Yeah. And I think tonight they should land. They should. They should land in Brisbane, where they will be having their 15-day training camp, of course, before they move over to where they will be having their first game in Melbourne. And of course, we understand, when we talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria, we know how excited they are at the weekend on Saturday, precisely. There was a send forth organized for them by the federation, where you have top dignitaries and everyone actually attending that. And of course, we know the coach wasn't there because they didn't want to have everyone coming down and then from there. But we're happy that that 15-day training camp is something that's going to work for the girls, because that's when the first campaign will be. And before we came on the show, we were talking about why didn't they have one here?
The Lagos, the Nigeria one in
camp
Abuja,
and everything.
yes.
And of course, we know the FA president has been talking about that.
Yeah, exactly. One of my worries, what got us talking even off air, is the fact that we're talking about gelling, understanding each other, becoming in sync. You know, this, one of the things that do so well for you are tournaments. These are 7 games, 8 games tournament, and you're already a champion. One of the things that works well is the synergy. How well do you understand each other? Are you, you know, you're playing a 7, do you understand your 2? Talking about the right fullback playing, you know, the right winger. Do you understand each other?
Yeah.
Do you know what your holding role, you know, defensive midfielder? These are things that they need to understand. This is the Mundial. This is the biggest stage. The best of teams will be at the FIFA Women's World Cup. And there is no forgiveness for any reason if you don't come with your A game. And that is why we need to understand each other very well. The last time out, we know how it went. We had our hearts in our mouths, like practically. This is not figuratively. Practically, we had our hearts in our mouth all through until that, you know, best loser qualifier. Now, it's a straight one. If you're not doing well in your group, you're going back home. And that is why we worry. But now there is the 15 days, and maybe it will be good enough. Another thing is, Sisi, I was telling you, I said, I'm loving the spirits. All of the big girls that come with their egos are all dropping egos and relating with each other. I saw that, you know, right from the last, campaign and all of that. And I wanted more days together where the young ones like Demeyi, Abiodun will get into these big girls, the gift money, you know, they would, you know, get into knowing each other very well. And then the coach also would have a first hand going to the World Cup as hot as possible. These are the girls. This is what they can do today, just days to the World Cup. And it keeps your memory fresh on this, and this ability.
You're thinking the 15 days will not be enough for the ladies?
It might be enough.
Okay.
But I feel teams you're playing have more than 15 days. They've used more than 15 days.
Yeah.
If you're going to a war and you don't have the same arsenal, like the person or the setup you're to fight, you're already feeling like you're defeated because you're looking at the arsenal, you're wondering, how can I match this? And that is where the worry.
Okay.
But we always say there is a way the spirit of Nigeria gets to ball out, and then we get to find a way to cross the line. Hopefully that happens this time.
Yeah, hopefully it happens. Austin, I mean, we know that NFF President Ibrahim Gusau has been talking and explaining, you know, the issues why they didn't allow, you know, the campaign in Lagos, or rather in Nigeria, before or traveling to the World Cup in Australia.
You know, Cecilia, I think it's too late. And I always say it, but these guys don't just listen. I always say that public relations don't solve problems. It works better when you use it to avoid problems. So these guys wait till there is a problem, and then they start talking, you know. And too late, before the NFF president started speaking, I am looking for excuses. Mr. Waldrum went to the media and started saying that the NFF wants them to fail. And it was just wrong timing, Cecilia. Wrong timing from Randy Waldrum, wrong timing from the NFF. But it is what it is. We're still counting down to the World Cup. They have 15 days to get ready in Australia before they go out there to prove why they should be considered the best women's football team in Africa. Though Morocco and South Africa will say, wait a minute. Are you sure it's still the Super Falcons? So we still have the NFL to answer those questions. Let's listen to Ibrahim Gusau explain all of these explanations that has been given, and then also listen to Philip Shaib, and then we'll come back. We'll put some more perspectives to the Super Falcons quest to deliver at the FIFA Women's World Cup. We'll be right back.
You are aware of all that we have done to ensure that we give them good preparation. And just recently, maybe in some of his comments, he said some of the teams, some of the players just finished their league about 2 weeks ago. So we can't hold players after the hectic season, and then we can't give them just a breeze of space to have a rest before they go for the tournaments. Don't forget, immediately after the World Cup, they are going back to their base, and the preparation for the next season will commence. So we try to look at that. And secondly, before then, we try to arrange a camping for the home-based players, for him to see what he can do to get out of them. But unfortunately, when he was when he sent his list, that is the provisional list of about 60 players. We find a little number of the home-based players that doesn't make any sense for us to invite just 7, 8 players. So that's why we feel, let us just try and see how we can make every arrangement for these girls to go to Australia. Australia is a different world. So that's why we're making every preparation to make sure that they are in Australia at least 18 days before their first match. And that is what we are doing. So as far as we are concerned, we know we did our best. They were in Japan, they were in Mexico, they were in Turkey, and then in Australia now they are going to play about 2 friendly matches before the commencement of the tournament. So we are doing our best. So I don't know what he's saying. Maybe he has his own issue that he's trying to talk about any deficiency of. Nobody is interfering in his own selection because nobody tell him that you must take this player. But what we are trying to say that we have good quality players in Nigeria that need to be looked into and to be given opportunity. That's the only thing we said.
Yeah, I've been watching the girls from their qualifications and from their preparation. And also, I have been also watching some of them in their club football and rating them with other players at club level. We have the best from this selection that the coach has made. And the preparation is always a major problem for Nigerian football. And I watch most of their matches and the tour that they went through. So from this preparation and from the form that these players are coming with from their club, I have that confidence that this team will be different from the team that have been going there just crash out. The confidence that I see in these girls is different from the confidence I see on the other team. And that is what is giving me that assurance. I'm flowing from what I have seen them do in their various clubs. And Nigerian female league football is gradually becoming, we are gradually stepping our authority. Sometimes we're on recess, but they are back. And the selection, I was having problem with the selection. I was afraid of the selection, but when I saw that list, I was confident. And I'm particularly proud that players like Monday Gifts, players like Rashidat, my daughter Gloria, and Onome is going to be our last World Cup. I'm seeing them now going to this World Cup to stamp their authority because these are new entries and experiences that they've gathered from the qualification and from previous game, adding to the experiences of the other ones. I'm seeing a good tournament. I'm seeing a good tournament.
Good tournament for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Hopefully, Coach Randy Waldrum will make it a good experience for the team. Cecilia, let's go to South Africa.
Yeah.
We have a sports journalist, Marvin Vumbi, who is ready to join us. I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah. On concerning the South Africa, what's currently going on after what happened on Sunday, where they had to use makeshift players to play against Botswana and they lost 5-0. It was supposed to be a send-off game, but somehow it didn't end up like that because the players refused to play. What happened? Money. And of course, Austin said we should stop talking about money in this particular show. But you can't rule that out because FIFA already set the ball rolling, giving every federation, giving the players individual money, and federation are pulling back. We don't want to add money to what they're earning. So the contract with the Banyana Banyana of South Africa, there is an issue there. And they met with the Minister of Sport earlier today. So we'll be having a sport journalist from South Africa in Joburg, Mervyn Vumbe, joining us to tell us more. What was that all about? And if really the players are willing, to go to Australia for the World Cup. Remember, they are the champions of Africa, so they are going to the World Cup, and they are supposed to represent Africa well. We don't want to hear the story of, different stories concerning money. We just want African teams to go there and put in their best. So if we have Marvin, he can join us now. Good evening. It's good to have you join us.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Austin and Cecilia there. And like you said, you really can't separate the topic of football, of money and of football. It's always they always align. And in this case, we're seeing it playing out for Banyana Banyana here in South Africa. It's terrible that we've gotten to the stage of getting to the World Cup a few days before they leave, and we're still talking about money. I've got to say, when you look at what the players are saying they want and what they've already received, the packages that they're receiving from FIFA, and then you listen to the side from SAFA themselves, you then see that there's a really big challenge when it comes to money. For example, I'll give you a rundown just with them participating at the World Cup. They've requested for 50,000 rands, and that's just for them to participate. For the group stages, they're requesting 400,000 rands. And when you say 400,000 rands, that's close to 25,000 US dollars. So that's a lot of money just for the group stages. By the time you enter into round 16, the girls are asking for 1.6 million each. So when you then look at their demands and then you listen to what SAFA is saying, then you're really torn in between which way to go, because I mean, on the one side, the players really do need to be compensated, but then you then look at their demands, they're a bit outrageous, and then when you listen to SAFA are saying, look, we are an independent body that run the footballing matters in South Africa by ourselves, and for us to be able to do that, we need money. And so when FIFA gives us money, for example, the 1.5 million that's been spoken about, that's been given to every team for participating, they're saying they get that kind of money and then they're able to play around that money and develop the football in Africa. So when you look at the scope of this, really, it's really sad that we're having to talk about these issues now, issues that should have been dealt with way before we got to the World Cup stage. But yeah, we are where we are now, and I guess we move forward. The minister did speak earlier on with all the parties involved, and his side was, okay, look, we've come up with the resolution, we're moving forward, the girls will be leaving tomorrow. So I can assure you, Austin and Cecilia, that Banyana Banyana will be taking off tomorrow for the World Cup.
Okay. Interesting. We're happy to hear that, because that was going to be my next question, if they're still ready to go. Well, let's take a listen to what the minister said to the ladies earlier today. Then we'll get back to you, answer some questions concerning this, because tomorrow they will continue some discussions with the women.
Firstly, we wanted to come and express our unwavering support to you as a team on behalf of government, on behalf of the people of South Africa, 60 million of them. That, of course, they've been worried about the developments over the past few days since over the weekend. We wanted to come to you and assure you that we've been attending to those issues. This evening, we've been assured that those issues have been attended to, the details of which I'm sure the team, between yourselves and the team and the authority, should be finalized. The representatives and the leadership is quite happy about those discussions. We're looking forward tomorrow at about 11 to announce those details, not details, but the breakthrough to the nation, so that the nation can be aware that indeed you are leaving for the World Cup. And the only reason there's anxiety in the country is because of your good performance. The reason that people are worried whether you are leaving or not is not so much about what had happened, because of your performance. You are a national pride. You have made us as a country very proud that indeed this year is a year of women in sport. And I think as you go, we are confident that you kill the aspirations of the 60 million South Africans as you did in the previous years. So we're quite happy that this evening you'll go to bed making sure that you are of one mind of winning the game. We wanted to address all the side shows that may take your mind off the field. And I think what has been achieved today is quite heavy for us. There are many issues that I just want to encourage you that through your representatives, there are issues in our view as a government that cannot be debated in 2023.
Yeah, issues still to be discussed. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll get back to Melvin on this one. All right, these are pictures of when they won this particular trophy, and of course in Morocco last year. And that's why the players are demanding that they deserve to actually have that $26,750. That's almost, I mean, for, participation. That's what they are demanding. And what Melvin has been telling us is the fact that this money is too much for the federation. But Melvin, if we can get back to him now, you said they will have to agree on something. But for tomorrow when they will be meeting, do you think they can actually agree on how much they will earn? And will the players really want to travel, to Australia, even when the federation cannot meet the demands that they are currently making?
Ladies and gentlemen, from the office of the Minister of Sport.
Okay, Marvin, if you're still
Sorry,
there.
please
Okay.
take that again.
Okay, I'm saying that, the players, because they felt they deserve. This is the second time they will be going to the World Cup. Before 2019, we saw what they did in France. So they're thinking, because of what they've been, their performance on all things that they've been doing for the country, they expect more for the federation. Now, if the federation cannot meet their demands, will they travel? Because according to what the Minister for Sports and Culture is saying, for Arts and Culture, is saying that they will be meeting with the players to reach an agreement on how to move forward concerning this money they're asking for the World Cup.
Well, I think definitely the girls will be leaving. I think the meeting tomorrow is just to tell us that they've come up with the solution in terms of how to give them the money that they've asked for. Maybe not all of it, but they've probably come up with a structure in which meets both sides halfway. The involvement of the government already, having the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture having to get involved with footballing matters already says a lot about the state of affairs. But definitely, I can confirm to you that the ladies will be leaving tomorrow, regardless of what happens with these talks. They will be leaving. The nation will be represented without doubt.
I know, Vumbe. They have no choice. Even if Safa says we're not giving you any money, they will go to the World Cup. That's the biggest stage, But I understand where the women are coming from, and they need to, put administrators on their feet so that they do the right things. But let's talk about the owners of football in South Africa, the supporters, the fans, the people of South Africa. How are they interpreting what's going on? Are they on the side of the ladies? Are they saying that it's wrong timing? What are they talking about?
Well, look, a lot of things have happened within the last few days that have been unsettling for the people of South Africa. For starters, I'll tell you one that happened today, where the SAFA was having a briefing talking about sponsorship, not for Banyana Banyana, but for Bafana Bafana, and people are asking the questions to say, okay, look, these girls are going to a World Cup, and they've complained as part of their request. They're saying they've only got 2 tracksuits. They're going to a World Cup. You're coming out to tell us you've got sponsorship for a whole different team. That is not the ladies that we're focusing on right now as a nation. What is going on? So the general sentiment out there is people are not happy with the way things have unfolded over the last couple of months. It's not the first time that this issue has been brought up in terms of the compensation of women, generally not just South Africa, but in Africa as a whole. There's a lot of catch up to do when it comes to how we support women in sports. So the sentiment here in South Africa is it needs to change. There needs to be some sort of parity when it comes to pay. The development of football in South Africa, because right now the women are performing better than the men, unfortunately. But the results are coming from the women, so the support has to be there from the women, not only from the people, but also from the governing bodies that support football in South Africa, and that is what's lacking right now.
You know what, Marvin Gumbe, we must say thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight. Best wishes to your country, and I hope that everything is sorted out in South Africa, and not just for South Africa, gives Africa a good representation at the World Cup. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. So that's a sports journalist joining us from Johannesburg, South Africa, Marvin Vumbe. Cecilia and Kehinde Idris, we have our own problem with the Super Falcons and getting ready for the World Cup. But South Africa has got their own problems too. Kehinde Idris, I don't know what you want to focus on. Do you just want to stay with your own problems?
let us deal with our own problems, because when the World Cup resumes, everybody stays with their own issues. South Africa won't be a Nigeria. The Super Falcons would not be called, you know, the Banyana Banyana ladies from South Africa. So we need to stay with our own issues. And also, hey, we might all come from Africa, but your glory is your glory. If we win the World Cup, yes, Africa wins the World Cup. But firstly, it's the Super Falcons who won the World Cup. So we'd have to stay with our issue and see how we can also glide over. I love what Marvin said. He said, come tomorrow. I think there is a whole lot that would have to do with formality, but the ladies will leave tomorrow. So I think in Nigeria, maybe we'd eventually get past, you know, how this whole issue would emanate, how it would affect the team. Now, if they land in Australia, the ladies will want to work. But we as journalists will continue to talk about the ill sides of issues, and probably maybe things we'll say would help even the cause of the ladies, even in the space of 15 days to the World Cup. So we would have to face our issue, Austin. And I'm sure, even as far as the UK that you're facing our issue because you're one of us.
Cecilia, but let me just create a balance. You said we'll talk about the ills. No, we also talk about the good side.
Yes.
Because if our administrators come now and say it's only the bad sides we talk about, we talk about both sides. But we talk about these deficiencies so our administrators will understand that everything rises and falls on leadership, and they need to sit up.
They just have to, because you have to decide what do you want to do. Immediately FIFA announced that, okay, this is what we're giving to the players directly. And most federations are now thinking the money that comes to them is now short, so they wouldn't want to give out anything. But if you know you have performance-related bonuses already agreed with the players over the years, you have to continue with that. You can't say because FIFA is giving them money, you know, individual money, then you have to rest that. That's the problem with South Africa. That's the problem with England. That's the problem with Germany. So I just feel that most of these federations can come and understand that, yes, these ladies, I mean, they don't get paid as much as the men at club level. So if FIFA and FIPRO had to come, I mean, with about 120 countries, all of them coming together to get that bargaining chip, and they got it what they wanted. So why are some federations actually pulling out? That's what I really don't understand with this. I think maybe FIFA need to send a message clear to most of the federations and tell them the match-related bonuses should remain, so it shouldn't be taken out simply because FIFA is paying the players individually.
Barrister Cecilia of women's football, we get your point. Can we move on with the show now?
Okay, now let's listen to Asisa Tushola talking about what they intend to do when they get to Australia, because she's pumped up right now.
Personally, I feel like we have a good team. If everything is being done right, I think this team can actually go far at the upcoming World Cup. But of course, regardless of whatever, we're still going to go out there, fight as always, do our job and see what we can do. I think we have a very strong, mentally strong players. You know, we've been through a lot, even in the hardest moment. We still go out there to fight and still come off good, you know. The motivation has always been there. Maybe not gone up as expected, or better than as expected, but I mean, we've always been a strong side mentally. First of all, I've always said I don't keep or set personal target for myself. Obviously, I want to score goals. I'm a striker. Obviously, I want to play well, but I mean, at this stage, I feel like I've played football to a stage where I feel the most important thing is the team result. It doesn't matter who scores. It doesn't matter how the team's going to score the goal. The most important thing is for the team to proceed. So I don't have any personal target, but I think as a team, what we have in our heads is to make a good outing and be proud of ourselves at the end of the games.
Yeah, pride, that's what matters. Well, Brazil national team touched down in Australia today, 24 hours after chartered flight. So they've arrived in Australia preparing for the Women's World Cup. Remember that matter, of course. She's attending the 6th World Cup. We also have Onomebe also attending assist to World Cup. Brazil, as you mentioned, a blend of youth and experience. They are there, trying to see how they can win the World Cup for the very, very first time. The president was with them on Saturday, just meeting the players on the field before they played the game against Chile. So they left on Monday and they've arrived Australia. That's one of the teams to touch down in Australia. So confirmed Brazilian national team They are right there in Australia. And this, funny enough, I mean, the airline, it was a chartered airline, and they had to also send a message, and that's why this is actually flying. I mean, paying a tribute to Iran protesters, where you have the lady that wasn't wearing hijab, you know, that died in a hospital. So you have to use the opportunity to say, okay, let's send a message as we are also doing this. I think this World Cup, I don't know if we're going to be having some political undertones, but I think this is a good message sending across the world. But the Brazilian national team, they're in Australia. Yeah, they're in Australia. And also, anytime you get a voice, you should use it right. I can remember what Rapinoe did 4 years ago, you know, at the World Cup. She had to use every opportunity to speak out. So this is fantastic. And for all the teams, all the best. But most, you know, part of the best to the Super Falcons. Yeah, the best to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. All the best Brazil to see if they can win their first ever Women's World Cup. Men, yeah, 5 times. But women, not even 1. Okay, Austin, now let's move. Oh, okay.
Cecilia, I just want to say it's almost unbelievable that Brazil is yet to. But let's just talk about what that inscription on the airplane. It's laudable. I like the fact that women are standing up for women. But let's not forget that in every aspect of life, there's governance. And FIFA said part of our rules and regulations for this World Cup, keep politics out of it. Don't ignite the fans to start coming to the stadium to cause problems. FIFA has been saying this right from the 100 days countdown to say, look, we don't want any political undertone. And here we are with Brazil landing and already telling FIFA we're going to break those rules. You know, so,
it's a message they're sending.
We don't want the Super Falcons to China and find a right note to feel subsidy. We just want to see football, you know, and just leave it at football. So I just hope that countries will understand where FIFA is coming from, and then so it doesn't dent the quality of football we're expecting. That's we don't want to see that, right? All right, let's quickly talk about NNL. Of course, Austin, I know you're pumped up to talk about this one. Sporting Lagos, because they will be playing in Nigeria Premier Football League next season, because they've gained promotion. After gaining promotion, their target now is to see how they can win the trophy. The Super 8 is taking place in the Asaba Delta State because there are so many games. You expect bigger teams to have been the first to qualify, but Sporting Lagos happens to be the first team to qualify for the NPFL. I mean, they've had games against Man City. It was 4-0. Because before that, they played a 1-0 win, and then this 2-0 win over Abeokuta Stormers. That stormed them into the NPFL. What a way to celebrate this particular win for these guys. Rico and Saturday Okon were the guys who gave them these goals. And of course, right now you're seeing Sporting Lagos, a club that was formed last year, they're into the NPFL. Yeah, I love it. You know, I love this story so much because of what Sporting Lagos will bring to top flight football in Nigeria. You know, right after Van Dresa started the whole packaging thing, Sporting Lagos came and took it a step, you know, higher. And we used to see football and entertainment, and then the Lagos fans started seeing more reasons to come. I love the fact now that they will come into the NPFL and challenge those so-called big teams. In local parlance, we call them agbayas, and let them see how they can, you know, use football, particularly for business. And I want more private teams into league football in Nigeria. So congratulations to Sporting Lagos. We'll wait to see how other teams will emerge into the NPFL, and then we will be crowned champions of the NNL Super 8, Cecilia. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, loving everything that is happening with the, you know, playoffs, Super 8 and all of that. For the NPFL Super 8, or Nigeria Super 8 like it is called, resumption Wednesday, everybody arrives. Then Friday, the competition starts. 2 clubs from the NNL Super 8 would also be involved, talking about Katsina and Sporting Lagos. So by Friday, they resume another competition. But like I always say, we want to see them more, the players play, but we want to see them also get more money from playing, you know, so much football.
We also want to plead that they shouldn't, you know, let the players be tired. Fatigue comes in when you're having back-to-back.
If you tell these players that there is more money, they don't care about fatigue.
Oh, really? Okay, it tells only much later. But let's take a look at other games that will be played tomorrow. Let's just take a look at those games that will be decided. You have DMD, because you have DMB will be in action. You have EFCC also in action. There's so many games that will be decided. Talking about the games that will be played in the Nigeria National League, as we mentioned, is taking place in Asaba Delta State, and big teams like Kano Pillars, you know, Kano Pillars, Katsina, Heartland also. They're also
Sporting Lagos.
We know Heartland are trying to see if they can pick a ticket to go to NPFL. Okay, these are, you know, the games for tomorrow. We have DMD and EFCC will be in action. Katsina United and Kano Pillars will also be in action. Now, this is going to be another derby because Katsina United needs to get into the APL. Stormers, of course, I mean, after losing to Sporting Lagos, no chance for them. One Rocket will also be in action. Heartland, they need a win, a point to get into, see what they can do against Sporting Lagos to see if they can pick a ticket for the NPFL. So, Austin, we've seen Kano Pillars, we've seen Heartland, we've seen some other teams that are trying to get a ticket into the NPFL. Which of these teams do you think can actually, you know, of all these teams you're seeing, will be joining Sporting Lagos in the NPFL?
Cecilia, don't put me into trouble.
I am.
These guys, the club officials, they know me so well, and they say, oh, so you don't think our team will make it. But some way, somehow, I think it will be good to see Kano Pillars back in the league, because that's a traditional, you know, NPFL team in Nigeria. And I think they've got a pedigree to return. I would leave it at that, Cecilia. Let's go and talk about the Prosperity Cup. We're getting into the round of 16, good model of grassroots football development in Nigeria. I want to use it to commend the Bayelsa State government. The other day we had Daniel Igali on the show, and we also listened to the governor who said that they want to tackle sports development from the grassroots, and I think they are doing just that. Round of 32 matches have been concluded. We'll get ready for round of 16. At the Samson Siasia Sports Complex, Bayelsa United Feeders humbled Ayamalem FC 3-0, while Shegbelites FC defeated Igbogene FC 9-3 in a nail-biting penalty shootout. So we're getting ready to see the teams that will advance from the round of 16, where Shegbelete FC will take on Bayelsa Feeders FC. That game will be played at the Samson Siasia Center. While we'll see Biseni United FC take on the Grace FC. Dreams Academy School will take on NUJ BYC at the Samson Siasia Stadium. Ayisco FC Ogbombiri will take on Okparoma FC at the Amasoma Center, while the Nembe City Stadium will see Odioma United take on Otuesega Movers. While at the Samson Siasia Stadium on Sunday, the 9th of July, we're going to see Ofuni United take on Agbere FC, while Akemfa FC will take on Dream Boys FC OD. So round of 16 action at the Prosperity Cup. We love this one so much because they're using it to engage the youth in Bayelsa State, and is one way we can actually empower young persons through football, Cecilia.
Yeah, it's just one way. Just a quick on this one. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah, I would always go back to the words of Francis Obi, badminton president. He said, when you create competition for all age group, you've already curbed age cheats. Because if I have something to do with my age group, I don't need to go to other person's age group. So create more competitions at different age stages, and everybody will fill into what suits them. And
also monitor them. Yeah. Austin, you got to go. Yep. It's time.
That's right. That's community development through sports in action right there. And I love it so much. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Ken Idris, thank you so much for coming on the program.
It's always lovely doing this on Tuesdays.
Yeah, hope to have it next Tuesday. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night rest.